to do this. Hold on. Let me get this straight up and down because it's got to move it over to the right a little bit so it's out of the way of the chair. Plugging it in. All right, now I can get my chair going. I've already got 16 views on my selling this bad boy right here. It's on eBay right now. All right, let me get my tablet up and then I'll show you guys the lifecast pull. Hang on, let me get the tablet up and running. Interesting. What's the deal? What is the problem here? How do you power it on? Interesting. I'm trying to power on my tablet over here so I can. There it is. Hey. It's really slow for some reason. Really slow. Let's go to my page. It didn't want to fire up. Okay, who's on with me? Silverado, Joe Thorberg, yo. What's happening, guys? Silverado. Okay, so in case you don't know, this bad boy right here is for sale, and it's on eBay right now. Starting bid is 200 for it. Okay, so out of the silicone master, we pulled the lifecast. There's the lifecast mask. Now I'm going to make this is a lifecast. Actually, it's really good with the light hitting it the way it is because you can really see all the features. But this is William Shatner's lifecast, and the mask, when I get done making this into a mask, it's going to smooth it out, make all these little features a little smoother, and that's going to be on my Patreon to see the whole process. I pulled this out of the master, and there's no bubbles, no bubbles. I found the secret. You have to warm up the silicone to achieve no bubbles. So we have a really nice pull. I have one bubble. That's a bubble right there. Actually, no, that's not a bubble. Okay. But there is one bubble right here, right in the corner of this thing, but that's nothing. Just put a little clay in there and it's done. But this is going to produce a really nice um, life cast. I'm calling it the LC, stands for life cast. LC 78, that's what this is going to be called. There's a big dimple in here, but that's in the stone too, so we got to smooth that out. There's all these little things that, like there's not enough check mark in here, in the check mark cheek. It just feels, it just goes down and it's flat right there. All right, and then there's another ridge over back behind that cheek. So I get it. Maybe that's the way it was supposed to be. Maybe that's what it gave that illusion that it was actually an indentation there, but really wasn't. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I can put it in a certain light and I can see that that check mark is there, but it's not what we thought. Anyway, so I got to put the eyebrows in. I got to cut the eye cuts right. Now the one thing about this is I might make a Kirk mask first, a Captain Kirk from the life cast, just like the original. See, the original mask was made from this life cast. So we are going to do this and really put together something nice. Now, so you can see it's a hollow casting. That's how this is. This is hollow. It's a hollow casting. And I just thickened it up around the walls. It's real thick in this area from slush casting it. So nice and solid. And I just have to make the whole head. And that's a whole nother thing. I'm going to show you guys how I do that. And this is a pretty cool cheating trick that I'm going to do when I do that. I'm going to cheat a lot when I make the head for this, the rest of the head. And if you haven't guessed, you'll figure it out. It'll be on my Patreon. You'll see how I do the rest of the process. But I want to pull this just to show you what this is going to look like. This is going to give us a really, really accurate 78 and 81. Now, as far as the face goes, how big it is compared to the sculpture, look at the difference. Now I'm lining up the eyes. That's how you go by that. And look how much narrow that is. See how much smaller than the sculpture is? Well, it's a lot smaller. Now I'm going to widen this head. I'm going to widen this out further. Not by a lot, but enough. You know, because it's a little too narrow. But that's the life cast. Chad C, looking good, brother. Yeah, this is the flashback. 78. It's almost perfect. I want to fix this area right in here. This is driving me crazy. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I had to make sure that the edge of that lip is there so you can see it. You guys ready for Christmas? It's coming. Sneaking up on us pretty quick. Yeah, that looks good. I like the way this looks now. Should I zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better? Should we zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here? Yeah, let's zoom in a little bit. That looks a lot better. Oh my God, yeah, that looks a lot better. Let me zoom in on my camera. Come on. The focus is the lips. Trying to really make the lips look accurate. Everything else is really coming together. The other thing I'm trying to eliminate is this little, it goes up in the air, and that's not the way that's supposed to be. It goes upward, and it's not supposed to be like that. It's got to be kind of like a little bit more of a slant down, and all I'm going to do is take a little of this clay that I have already pulled off and warm it up in my fingers. Silverado, Joe Thorburn, and Chad C. Looking good. Yes, it is looking good. I gotta say that. It is definitely looking good. Now, this light is extremely bright, so it's really throwing off my vision on this thing. I don't want to. I'm also going to put a little more clay up in this area here. Oops. That one fell inside. Not good. The hole, excuse me. The hole looks a little too round. See, now I'm actually able to sculpt, guys, so you can see what I'm doing, and that's out because now I can talk to you because I got the pad right in front of me. The pad is over here, right in front of me. Well, you can see what I was doing. And I can really see your text, and I can talk to you at the same time. That's a wonderful thing. Yeah, this nose hole was too round. Looked really weird. We'll get it. We'll get it right. I want this thing really perfect. I don't care if I spend a little bit. I don't care if I have to work on it a little harder, a little longer. But I really want this thing as close to perfect as possible. Now I'm not going to focus too much on this nose because I got to lift the head up and get it right that way. But I definitely want to smooth out where I was messing with this a little bit over here. See, with these loop tools, one side's a cutting edge, and one side's one side moves clay, and the other side cuts clay. I need the cutting edge because I'm going to smooth this. And you see how like it's all, you see the different, like you'll see the different pattern there with the white. That means it's rough. It's not smooth. Once I get that to where you don't see any high spots, and you got it. Oh yeah. Always keep a bowl of clay in your hands because this stuff is really hard, this clay. And if you don't keep it in your hands, you can't really use the clay. Just trying to define that lower lip a little more. I don't want the lower lip too big because the lower lip can be really. I had done a little bit of work to it earlier. The lower lip looked too big. What I usually do when I'm sculpting is I do a little bit and then I walk away and then I look at it and look at it and look at it and look at it from every angle and really look at it and study it. And then I say, okay, what don't you like? What is it that's bothering you? If anything's bothering you. And always step back. You always have to step back. See what's going on. Now, I've had some people say, the lip's too big. Some people say the lip's too small. Bottom line is you're not there, you're not here, so you really don't see the definition of the lip. You can't go too big and you can't go too small. Earlier, I have to admit, the lip looked way too big, and it almost looked like the lower lip. I'm talking about the lower lip. This region here, it looked like a female lip. It didn't look right. So I went back, and all I did to it is I added a bead of clay. I'll show you exactly. See these worms? And I put a bead. I took this worm and I took a piece off like this. I'll show you what I did. Just show you. Just easier to show you. And I made these real thin. I made them thinner with my hand like this. Pretty balanced. All right, and then what I did was I just took this. Now I'm not going to stick this permanently. I just want to stick it on there just to show you what I did to refine that lip, that lower lip. That's what I did. I put a bead around that lower lip and then I blended it in, and it made the lip too big. It made it look too big. So we're not doing that. Although I want to keep going with that same principle on the upper lip because I don't like all I'm doing this now, creating this little bit of a now we're going to take a little bit more. I'm just going to put it right on top of this area. Push it down. Most of this I have to do with my hand, because I got to feel that shape. I can't just use a tool in certain situations. I'm only doing it like up in this area, not going into that. You don't have to go all the way down. You only have to do this area, this region here. And I'm using little tiny crumbs. Look how small these pieces are. I'm not using a lot because not using a lot. We're trying to just make a strong definition of the lip. All right, now I have to add a little more right to the front of that. I've got that little bump going into the back. All right, you start seeing how that's coming together. Now I got to do the same thing that I did to this side right here. Very important that I follow that lip line really, really accurately. There we go. Okay, now I'll use the tool. Yeah, they look really good. Now, once I smooth this, you'll really see the definition of the lip. Joe Thorburn. I always want to say Thornburn. It's Thorburn. I always got to correct myself with that for some reason. I don't know, man. Change your name, will you? Now I'm defining this. Now, wait a minute. I just flipped that and I wasn't sure which side was the cutting side. I don't want the. Now, even though you guys see that clay there, that clay is blended into that face pretty good. And it's really going to be blended in really nice once I need a smaller hoop, smaller loop tool. You can instantly feel whether it's a yeah, these lips look really good. I'm excited. I think we got this thing now. And this area looks perfect. Like these mark these this. Spit it out, John. Okay. We got to go back to hooked on phonics, I guess. Okay. So let's see what this looks like when it's smoothed out. Now, what I want to do is, I do want to do it so bad because there's not enough definition. With the lip line. All right. Now I dug a little line in. All right. Now all I'm going to do now is smooth this in. And blend that back into the. And you'll see what I do once I get that, once I dig out that little dip there. Okay, now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to push. that's gonna look a little more defined when I get that. Now what I'm also doing here with my clay is always clean my blade with clay. You don't want the boogers. I gotta break out the naphtha in a few minutes. I need a flat not flat enough. That's my favorite tool right there. I always seem to come back to this tool. What that does is it does two things. It doesn't just remove clay, it moves clay. It's hard to explain, but I can feel it. I can feel it actually moving the clay and cutting away some of it for smoothing. I use this tool for smoothing most of the time. All right, so, all right, now, what can we do here? Break out the naphtha. I hate getting this shit on my hands, but I usually wear gloves. Okay, I gotta smooth out in here a little bit. I can still see where it's not. Okay, so now when you get to that point where you can't, it's hard to get a loop tool into this area without usually gouging at something else you don't want to gouge. So what I'm doing is I'm blending that clay together. See how that came together really nice? That really came together nice. All right, now back to some more naphtha. Naphtha is your magic friend. It really does blend everything really nice to bring the color, everything in really good. Color. Did I say color? See, when I get concentrating on what I'm doing and really refining everything, that looks really good. I stop thinking about what I'm talking about. And I just got done saying the other day, I can chew gum and walk at the same time. And I still got to refine that nose. I'm not going to mess with that. But these lips are done. These lips are amazing. Now, just because you see a little bit of light color here, that doesn't mean anything, because what happens is once I mold this, it doesn't pick that up. You just got to make sure there's no lines. Like you can see the old lines that are right in here from the old clay to the new clay. Right in here, you can see it. you can see that line. See that little line that's right there, and it goes up underneath in the eye cut right there. Follow my thumb, you can see that line, but you can't feel that. It's super smooth. There's no, you know, the mold won't pick that up. The mold will not pick that up. And some people will say, you got to put more texture on it. No, not true. I don't want a ton of texture on my sculpture because it looks amazing when the paint is on there and it's not too, what's the word? Looks too lumpy. I don't want that. I want a really refined texture. And I have different grades of sponge. What's up, Dustin? All right, let me read you here. Let me read. And so I'm going to turn this so you guys can see it a little bit better. This is the finished lips. Not quite. I don't like this peak right here. I gotta let that dry. Let's see what that looks like. Much better. Don't you agree? Okay, lips are looking great. Thor as in God of Thunder. Yes, I know. Burn as in touching fire. Ouch. Thor burn. Anyway, Dustin, how we doing, buddy? Stopped in to say what's up and hope all is well. It's my son's birthday. Happy birthday. What's his name? Give me his first name. And I'll do a shout out for you right now. And you can show it to him later on, Dustin. What's his first name? Yeah, I still got to do this nose, this nostril. This nostril was too big, looked too weird. So I'm not going to tackle that tonight. All right, I want to say happy birthday out there to Jimmy. And I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I hope you have all the gifts in the world. And eat an extra piece of cake for me, will you? Happy birthday, Jimmy. Everybody, wish him a happy birthday. Say it's Silverado's son. It's his birthday. And I want everybody on here to wish Jimmy a happy birthday. Now you can rewind this some point once I upload it and can show the love. Show the love to everybody. Sorry, I don't know why it put that. What, Jimmy? It wasn't my birthday? No, you said your son's birthday, right? You didn't say your birthday. I saw that. Is your son's name Jimmy? Come on, it's not a hard question. Anyway, okay. Yeah, it's still not refined. That bottom lip is bothering me. It's still not refined enough. I'll have to nail it, but not now. Now that I've put Naptol all over it, I can't mess with it. Can't do anything. Well, rub that bottom part? Yeah, I did, didn't I? I am going to have to put those little worms of clay right on the edge there to refine that edge. But I got to make sure I don't make it too rounded or too, too far back, because I made it really too far back and it made it lip look too full. Made the lip look too full. So that's a tomorrow project. I'm refining this thing. I'm not, it's not perfect yet, but when it's really on the money, this is going to be well worth the wait. The sculpture is really coming. Oh man, it looks so good. It looks so good. It's just that the lip line has to be there. It has to be refined on the lower lip. Oh yeah. The angles are all right. Everything's perfect. Everything is perfect on here. Oops. I didn't put that. I worked on the eye cut over here a little bit because it just felt too like squared. It was weird. I couldn't explain. I'm going to have to refine those eyebrows a little bit better too. I even have all the little lines in the forehead. These lines are on the money. It's Dustin's son's birthday. I don't know why my phone texted Jimmy. All right, so here we go again. You ready? We are going to say happy birthday to Dustin. Dustin, may you get every present you want. May your birthday cake be huge. And may you eat it until you get sick. No, don't eat all your birthday cake too fast. Have a little bit of birthday cake. Have an extra piece for me. How's that? Have an extra piece of cake for me. So, happy birthday to Dustin. Everybody out there wish Dustin a happy birthday. But now I want to know who Jimmy is. Who's Jimmy? Anyway, Silverado, Bo. Yeah, it's really on the money, man. I really have this. Now the lips look really good. The upper lip looks amazing. I really have that nailed. As you can see. I have to refine this lower lip a little bit. You got to have that edge there. There's got to be an edge there to see it. It's too smoothed out. You can't see that line good enough. So that's got to be fixed. But it is really, really, really spot on almost. There's one thing that's bothering me over here. And I'm going to fix that right now. This area right in here. Okay, now I put that right angle back in there the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, you're working with crumbs of clay when you do this stuff. Bo Norton, how we doing tonight, buddy? Yeah, it's starting to really come together. It looks really good. This will be the last and only flashback mask that I will do from this day forward. This will be the only one that that's it. No more flashbacks after this. This is going to be my one and only. I did this one here to refine and, get better, better, and better. But this is the end all right here. I won't go any further with flashback. When this is done, which it's almost there, I don't plan on doing any more flashbacks. So this will be the only one that I'll be selling too, I have a feeling. Because I actually, I really like this thing. Really, really like this flashback. This one really turning out nice, man. It's really hitting. And it looks good. The lips look I'm telling you, the lips look like the screen used mask. They really do. The lips look like the screen used mask. I think the whole thing looks like the screen used mask now. It's really that close. It's really that close. It is really that close. I'm just shoving clay up into this wall because it looks like it's a little dug in from inside of there, and I don't want this to get banged and then cave in on me. So what I'll do is, now that that's up there, I'll shove this up inside of it. So that'll firm that up. And now, go back in. And what that did was it firmed it up so it doesn't, once that clay hardens back up, I won't have to worry about this thing denting in easily. Still dent, believe me, you can dent this real easy. Now it just gives it a little bit more strength. So that's why you don't want to make the eye cuts too deep, because the overhangs. Yeah, that looks right now. That's the right angle. Now, let's do a bit of smoothing out. Just a touch of naphtha on that. that's really soft. Do it with my damn sponges. All right. Just gonna have to lightly touch it. To get this, make sure it stays smooth looking. Lightly touch it, just a feather. As Bob Ross would say, just a feather. Don't push too hard, don't rub too hard. All right, good enough. I think the lips are really refined. What do you guys think? Now that nostril's pissing me off because I gotta pull this thing up to fix this nostril. But I think it's looking good, guys. What do you think? I think we've got ourselves a really good flashback mask. Anyway, Silverado looks good. Yeah, I can't wait to get this thing moving. Get it siliconed. Then I'll have a master copy in silicone. I can pour up clay heads just like I did to this, and just like I did to that. Yeah, well, that's like when I refine the top of that lip, the edge of the lip. To see how much it made that lip pop. It's the slightest, littlest things. That's why I try to tell people, you know, when you make little alterations, especially when you get to the finish line and you're this close and you've got it so close, you're talking about a little bit of differences. And I'll show you one that always seemed to eat at me, and I always seem to always overlook it. All right, like the eye cut or the eyebrow, it ends here. The eye cut goes in just a little bit further than where the eyebrow is. Same thing on the other side, only this eyebrow is almost dead even with this eye cut on the inside. Um, they're the littlest things, but boy, they make a difference. They're just you have to be right. It has to be accurate. You want it to be accurate, but those lips have really they show the importance of the smallest details. If you don't get them right, it doesn't look right. It's something that looks way off. So, yeah, it's yeah. I'll try to show you the eyebrow. See how it's back away from. It's not all the way into the eye cut. All right, let me show you. This was before. This was the sculpture right here. This we front of mine painted it white and then darkened out the eyes. But look at the eye cuts, and this is the screen used, right? This is the screen used down below, and this was the sculpture last week. That's what I had done to it, and the eyes looked they were too narrow. They were hold on. They were too narrow this way. They needed the bottom needed to be cut out just a little bit more on the bottom to bring out that. See how much wider this is? It may not look wider, but it is. It's a little bit wider. All right, this eye is way too long, and this cut was too far up. All right, now this is the screen used. Look how much shorter that eye is compared to that one. All right. And this is made the exact same size. The ears are right there on both sides of the mask. The mask is actually sized to look just in the same size. The pictures are sized to match. All right, so everything is the right size, only this eye cut was not right. Now, with the adjustment that I made, this is the adjustment. See how much more accurate this looks now? All right. All right, wait a minute, I need to bring it down a little bit. See how much more accurate my sculpture is now? Now, I bumped this out on this side just a little bit more because it wasn't enough clay on this area. It looked too flat against the face. See how it's bumped out here? You can see there's more clay right in here. All right. I added a little more clay in this area to give it that. See? If you look at this and then look at this eye cut. Let me try, I'll fold it over so you can. See the difference? A little puffier now. It looks right. Now this looks like that now. Now I'll fold that over even again. So you're looking at the screen used mask up against mine. Let me try and angle it so it's right. What do you guys think? Am I accurate or am I accurate? What do you think? What do you think of those eye cuts? Yeah, I know that, Bo Norton. I just put clay up inside that hole, but I can't do it until tomorrow because I softened the clay too much. I have to, but right now, let's look at these eye cuts. Tell me what you think. I'm trying to get it dead on so you're dead on looking at it. There it is. What do you think? Any comments? We are almost perfect with this sculpture. I mean, really, 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 really close. You know, when you take this away and you don't look at the screen used mask, and then you look at it, it does kind of look like it's wrong. That's what's such an illusion to this sculpture. There's so many things that really throw you off when you're sculpting this. But man, oh man. And it's another thing a lot of people don't realize that to make that perfect this way, dead on, looking at it straight on, you also have to make sure that it looks good from the side view too. You know, the slant has to be right. The slant of the eye cut. You know, so there's a lot more to sculpting in 3 dimensions than there is to doing it in 2 dimensions. Oh wow, look at that profile on those lips. Man, that looks good. Ooh, man. Look at that profile. Yeah, the nose is nothing. I just have to dig it out. It was too big. The hole was too big. The other side looks perfect. This side, the hole looked too round and too big. So that'll be taken care of tomorrow. Let me turn the camera just a little bit. Trying to give you a profile. Look how good that profile looks now with those lips fixed. That upper lip. Now you gotta remember the head's leaning back because the neckline has a slant to it. Come on, turn. I'm trying to get a. There you go. That should do it. Give me a nice profile. Yeah, it's close enough. Nose is perfect. The lips, the lip line is rounded here. Let me get my finger where it's supposed to be. From underneath the nose here and then down, it's rounded the way it's supposed to be. And the actual sculpture or the screen used mask. Yeah, man, that looks good. I'm digging it. And here's the lifecast. That's going to be the lifecast mask. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make small video clips on as my progress goes into this. This was the silicone. I filled the clay into the silicone lifecast master last night. And my plan is to make the LC78 and the LC81 from this lifecast mask right here. The LC stands for lifecast. So that's the plan going forward. I can't wait to see this paint scheme on this. Man, that's going to look so good. Oh my God. And you see how this has got rough texture and stuff? It's got some rougher texture. That's not going to have this. I'm not going to have that rough texture on my masks. I just don't like it. I don't like it that much. Some people are saying, well, you need something to paint so the paint can grab to. Well, I got news for you. That Justin Mayberry paint grabs the latex like nothing I've ever seen. It's really hard to get off once it's on there. I don't think the texture makes a damn bit of difference. But that's only me. Look at the difference between these lips and those lips. Let me put it in. Wow. They're bad compared to this. They just look a lot smaller. This isn't a bad mask. It's just that, it's not 1000% accurate. Like this one here, this is going to be really accurate. I'll get that nostril fixed tomorrow. But anyway, this is what I'm going to do. When this is done, we're going to silicone master copy. We're going to make a silicone copy of that. I'll be working on this on a side project as well, but that won't be live streaming with this. I'm going to put that on my Patreon channel only. The progress with this. You'll have to go to my Patreon, sign up, and join my Patreon for that. You know, and this will be exclusive. This will be kind of an exclusive thing for Patreon. I'm gonna have to come up with all these different things to do. I do have quite a few things outside of mask making projects that are coming up this winter too. Hopefully I can get to them. That's the thing, because I have all these to do yet. And my goal is to, once I silicone master copy that, I'm going to instantly start aging this into the 2018. All right. And this will be a 2018 mask from which they should have done that. Well, they couldn't. There's no way for him to know how the storyline was going to go, because they didn't really have it written out, and COVID hit at the same time. So the flashback, I thought it wasn't in the original concept of what they were going to do in Halloween Kills. So the flashback came in later. So in other words, he did the 2018 mask, and then he had to make a flashback mask. But if he had done the flashback mask first and then just aged it, everything would have been based off that flashback mask, and it really would have been cool. But Christopher Nelson, he made I think he smoothed out. I think he actually took the head shape of the 2018 mask and then retooled it completely, just like I just retooled this, because he wanted it to have some similarities to the 2018 and the Kills and so on and so forth. Because if you drift too far, if they tried to make it look like the original 78 mask, you know, it just wouldn't, you know, the 2018 wouldn't look right. The 2018 wouldn't look quite right. So that's my theory. So with my situation, the flashback is first. So the flashback gets done, and then I'm going to age it into the 2018, and then I'm going to age it and burn it and make it look like the Kills, and then we're going to make it look like the Ends mask. And I am going to try and copy all the little details that are in the 18, the Kills, and the Ends, and make it look like those masks. Only it's going to really come off of that flashback look. So that'll be cool. I think that's going to be really cool. This here, the lifecast mask, this is how I'm going to make my 1978 and the 1981. It's going to be with this sculpture. All right. Now I didn't sculpt this. This is a lifecast. This is the stone lifecast right here. Right. Hold on. I'm forgetting I have it zoomed in so you can't see. That's the stone lifecast that I siliconed, and last night I poured up the clay head. And this is going to be turned into a 1978 original and a 1981 original. And it's from the lifecast. That's exactly what they used to make the Captain Kirk mask, was this lifecast right here. So I didn't sculpt it, no. So it's cheating. But in this situation, I don't feel that bad. I don't feel that bad. I look at it this way. I know I can do it. If I can do this, I definitely can do that. But I don't want to spend all that time making this. I got other projects I want to do besides this. And besides, this really is coming from the actual mold. So why not really alter that to make it look like I'm going to do a Kirk mask, and I'm going to do a 78 Michael Myers from that, and I'm also going to do a Halloween 2 1981 and make the eye cuts wider, make the mask look, stretched wider. Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to do to this. So, yeah, man, that's the plan. Anybody else commenting? Because I'm going to jump off of here, I think. How many people are on? We got 4 people on? Or 4 messages? I can't see how many people are on. 4 watching. We got 4 people on right now. Okay. So I have to redefine this lower lip better so it looks better. So then I have to fix the nostril. And that's pretty much it. There's not much else to do to this. It's ready for silicone. Ready for silicone. I even got the side cut better. This here now, it looks good. I'm going to smooth this out a little bit more in here. It looks like there's a little bump there, and I don't want that. But that looks a lot better. I don't like that. It looked like it was going up, like a little hook going up, and that's not the way it's supposed to look. Any questions, guys? I know you guys that are getting the free masks, you've got to be excited. Are you excited to get this mask when it's done? Because I'm not wasting any time, guys. I'm going to have your mask done right away because you guys waited way too long. But we have a really accurate sculpture here, and you'll really be happy with this when this is done. So I thank you guys for having the patience. I promised you guys masks, and then we ran into one problem after another problem after another problem after another problem. And, I needed to make some of that money back, and I did. Well, I didn't make it all back, but I made enough back to where I don't have to stress over it. So what I'm going to do is make your mask. As soon as I have the siliconed, I've got to do a resin master copy. I'm doing resin molds instead of plaster molds. So I don't ever have to worry about the sculpture again. That's the nice thing. So I never have to make another copy. The resin molds last forever. They're a hard plastic. So all you guys that were promised free masks, I stick to my word, and I can't wait to get you guys a mask in your hands, man. And I want you to help promote it. I want you to show it to people, especially in the mask community. Put it on michael-myers.net. Put it out there. Let people see it. Let them know where to get it. I think the only 3 mask makers that are doing very close copies. I'm not sure because I haven't found anybody else. But it's me, Jimmy Falco, and Nag. They're the only 3 people out there that are putting out 3 of us that are actually putting high quality flashback masks. We sunk a lot of time, all of us. We sunk a lot of time into these sculptures, and to make them look really good. And probably I put a lot more time into some of those guys than those guys because they have a lot more experience than I do. So, they probably punched it out in a couple months, where me, it's just taken longer. It took me longer to get it right. And but now I think I've got myself a really, really nice piece. Very accurate, very accurate. That's what I was aiming for. I was looking for really precise accuracy here. And I think I'm really, really close. I don't think you can draw a perfect circle. I've never done it. I don't think I've met anybody that's done it. So to make an absolute perfect replica of this, the only way you can do that is actually maybe 3D scan the original mask, if you can even get a original real mask from the movie, which is impossible. And it's up to our artists. It's up to the artist to actually try to figure out, how this mask was made. Man, you know what, knife guy, I want to do it. Um, what I have to do is, now that I've lost a lot of weight, so if you look at my hands, I have a lot of veins in my right hand. I don't have enough veins in my left hand, but I was going to make hands from my hands now that I've lost all this weight. My arms are very, very thin. I can sculpt nails. I don't care about that, but because I bite my nails, I have nerve problem. I'm always nervous, always thinking, always got a bad habit of biting my nails. Besides, I don't like long nails when I'm doing this. I don't want any nails, because nails actually dig into, if you're rubbing on something, all of a sudden your nail goes across it, digs right into the damn clay. So it's the first time in my life I appreciated biting my nails. If that makes any damn sense. So yeah, I have to. I'm going to do my hands and then pose them, and they call it what do they call that? Hydra. It's a what the hell do they call that stuff? It's like a rubber. Anyway, can't make a silicone cup. What I have to do is I make a an alginate. I put my hands in this tube of alginate, and then it makes a copy. Then I pull my arm out of the alginate, and I fill it with plaster. All right. Then when I make the plaster copy like this is plaster. See? Once the plaster copy's made of my arm, then what I do is I put silicone over it. All right. I silicone that plaster copy of my arm in complete 2-part silicone master. Then what I do is I pour up a clay copy of my arm. All right. Just like I did with this. I made a clay copy of that lifecast. All right. Now, if I have a clay copy of my arm, I can put in the veins in my hands. I can put in all the really, make my hands look exactly like Michael Myers, and sculpt it the way it is. Now, my fingers aren't as long as James Jude Courtney, so I can make the fingers longer. I can do anything once it's in clay. You know what I mean? In clay, I can sculpt it the way I want it to look. I've got some rough hands. I've got cuts. I've got scars all over my hands from I took a grinder. My grinder hit me here and here going across, took away all the flesh that's in this area right here. Literally took it away. Let me see. You can see that it was all the flesh is missing from here and here, especially this finger. So literally, you can feel a dent in there because there's no flesh there where it used to be. So, and my fingers have been broken many times. That's why you can see them they're all twisted and crooked. I've played semi-pro football. I've had some broken fingers in my time, but I was fortunate. See, what saved me, like people that break their fingers and they don't set, I set it right away. I felt it break. I knew exactly where the break was. I pulled it, and I set the finger back in, and I splinted it right at the football field. I set it myself, and then I went and I got it X-rayed each time I did that to make sure that everything was in alignment. And by setting your finger so fast like that, it's painful when you do it, but by doing that right away, it keeps your fingers from getting way too crooked. But don't set a finger or set a bone and then don't get it x-rayed. Set it, go to the hospital right away and see if you set it right. Because if it isn't set right, the doctor can adjust it. And the adjustment's not nearly as bad. I had one finger where I broke it. Which one was it? It was this one. I set it wrong. You see how it twists? It literally it's like this. It's my finger does this, and then this bone sticks out here, but it twists a little bit. This one I set wrong. Every one of my fingers. Let me see. Was it all of them? This has been broke. That's been broke. That's been broke. This one never got broke, and this one never got broke. I think my pinky did once. I know this pinky did. Yeah, all four of these fingers have been broke. All four of these fingers have been broke. This one, I know I broke my thumbs. That I broke them twice, both of them. And this one, yeah, it's this one and this one that got broke. Yeah, this one was never broken. I don't think this pinky was broke. That's weird. So yeah, I'd like to make the silicone clay copies of my arms and then sculpt them to make them look veiny. Like take my arms and make them real extra veiny and grotesque. And you can make them with the fingers, and then you can just lop off the fingers where he got shot. And actually, it's these two fingers, right? Yeah, it's the end fingers. You can lop those two fingers off in silicone and really make them gross and make it look good. And actually put bone in them. You can put bone inside those silicone to make them look real. Yeah, that's a future project, knife guy. That's a future project. Is it going to be done right away? No. It's going to be. I got to get these masks done. I've got the flashback to do. Then I got to age this into the 2018. Then I got to age it into the kills. Then I got to age it into the ends. And then I'm going to do a concept mask. Ends. It'll have the ends, but a little bit more to it that's going to really take it over the top. So it should be really cool when I'm done with the ends. The concept mask. Now I'm also doing the same principle with my Night Creeper. I might do that to these as well. I need an apprentice, huh? I have a guy that's working with me right now that, when he has the time, he can't really do it all the time because he's got to make a living, and I'm not making a living at this yet. This is not bringing in enough income yet. I do have, let me zoom out. Let me zoom out on the camera so you guys can see. See that flashback there? Hold on. That flashback that you're looking at, that's the white mask right there. That, if you go to look up Halloween Michael Myers flashback mask, and this will be up. It's for sale right now, starting bid at $200, and it sucks looking at the camera because like this the yeah, it's not a, you can't really see the colors. What you have to do is you go look that mask up and you'll find it. You'll find this mask on eBay right now. It's on there for the next 7 days, and you'll be able to see how beautiful the paint job is with the pictures that I put up. I put some really nice pictures up of the mask. I took those pictures tonight right outside my door here. And my camera, I have an iPhone 16, so it really shows off beautiful. It really captures the color really nice. Now, when you're on YouTube, like I am right now, and streaming, you're getting a really bad, you're not getting a really good look. So, yeah, this is the version 1 of Flashback Mask. This is going to be the version 2. Oh, wonderful. I got to plug in my my tablet battery went dead. Let me refresh, see how many views I got. Wow, went from 16 to 23 views. I've got 1 watching and 23 views of this Flashback Mask. Okay. So there's people watching it. There are people paying attention to it. All right, so we don't, give me a second here. I'm just going to use this thing to, come on. I don't need this cord. Really? All right, give me a second. I just need to pull this plug out of here. And I need to put this guy over here. See all my pictures on the wall? This is what I use to, now that, the one all the way to the left is a nag mask that I overhauled for somebody. I repainted it. I didn't overhaul it completely. I didn't add no hair to it. That was the hair, and that was a nag mask, and I repainted that mask. And this mask, that's the screen used mask. That's the one I used for my sculpture the most, especially the lips. Look at those lips. And look at my lips. Damn it. Can I get them both in frame? You can even look at those ones in the back here. See my lips? See how close that is? I think that's pretty close. What do you guys think? I have to leave my tablet charged. The battery was dead. I'm like, oh, cool. All right, so I have to use my phone to read my text. Hold on. All right, let me take the phone off the little stand. I have to read off the phone because my tablet went dead on me. I've always wanted to attend night school and learn this skill for myself. I learned pottery, ceramics, that way a long time ago, obviously, is what you meant to say, years ago. Well, it's never too late, my friend. Take it from me. I'm 62 years old. All right, now I've been an artist my whole life, and it sounds like you've been an artist too. I don't know how old you are, all right, but I'm 62, and this is not what I've done for a living. I did a little bit of relief carving. I used to work in wood. That's all I did was whittling. I would do relief carvings, and COVID hit, and I thought, man, what can I do with my art? Because I have to fall back on my art because COVID pretty much put us out of business for a while. So I pretty much jumped back into this and I thought, you know what, let me get into mask making. So I did some research. I've never touched clay in my life. And here we are. And here we are. An artist, no matter how little knowledge we have, if you're a good artist, you'll have bumping. You'll learn techniques. You'll learn all the you have to learn the human anatomy is real important to learn when you're doing head shapes and stuff like that. But if the art is in you, you just have to refine it. You just have to get working. You have to get into it. And there's enough videos out there to guide you to start, however you want to start up, whatever it is you want to do. I wouldn't recommend, if you're not a real skilled artist, I wouldn't recommend doing Michael Myers yet. I would do something else first. Do something original that doesn't have to be precise. Every little thing has to be super precise with doing a Myers mask, and to make it look real, make it look like the authentic mask. And it's really tough to do. It's not an easy mask. It really isn't. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was, come on, there's not a lot of features to it. How hard can it be? Believe me, it's a lot harder because it is featureless. The slightest little bit this or little bit that, and all of a sudden the expression changes. Just like I did with the lips tonight, just that little bit of clay that I added to the top of the ridge of that lip really accentuated that lip. And it's just the slightest little thing can really change the way the sculpture looks. But like I said, don't tackle Michael Myers first. Do an original, something that doesn't have to be precise. All right, just to get the fundamentals of the human face down, where the muscles are. You want to learn the anatomy of the head of people's heads, whether it be a woman, guy, whatever, creature, Frankenstein. Well, I don't know. Anytime you start doing a replica of something, it instantly gets hard because now you're replicating something, and that's not easy to do. That takes a little more experience. Now, I used to do whittling, so I had a lot of experience with doing animals, like, I used to do bears, I used to do eagles, so I was quick study with learning the anatomy quick. I picked up on it real fast. I can look at a human face and tell where the muscle tissue is just by looking at it. I can look, but I still had to learn it, and then one thing to know it, it's another thing to sculpt it, so, but it's never too late. Here I am, 62 years old, 3 or 4, yeah, it was 4 years ago. I said, you know what? Why not get into this and do this during your retirement years, and do this for fun as you're retired and get away from, it really, man, it's great. It worked out perfect for me. I really love doing this in retirement. It's a perfect new hobby that I love. I mean, I love it. I love it more than my job that I was passionate about for decades. And yeah, this is more to my heart than anything else. And I'm not talking about Michael Myers. I'm talking about uh, the art of mask making and sculpting. I hate the mold process. I don't like doing the molds, because it's just work. Um, but if you've done pottery and you've done ceramics and stuff, um, you have a little taste of what it is to work with clay. This is monster clay. This is a wax-based clay, oil-based, as they would say. It's not really oil. It's got oils in it, but it's more a wax. It's a wax-based clay. The reason why I like using wax-based clays is because it doesn't have the mess. Look how clean my work area is. All right, other than the clutter. but you don't see a lot of clay all over the place. It's not messy. All right, it doesn't leave dust. You start working with wet clay, which is a water-based clay. You know, it's messy, man. It leaves a lot of dust. It leaves a lot of dirt everywhere. So I don't use wet clays. I don't like using wet clay or any kind of pottery clay or anything like that. Um, for mask making, I actually think that um, monster clay is the best method. Because one, and the other thing too, wet clay, water-based clays, you really have to sculpt pretty quick, and you got to get it done because you got to constantly water it and then put a bag over it to keep it wet. You know, because you're working on this thing. You could be working on it for a couple months. You know, a sculpture. So you have to be a fast sculptor working with wet clays or water-based clays. Um, Me, I like to take my time. I'll come at this thing and I'll work on it one day for 8 hours, come back 3 weeks later or 2 weeks later and start working on it for a couple hours. But I've been pushing to really get done, so I've been working hard on these. But you know, there's no time limit. I wouldn't leave clay. You can't get the clay to stick together once it hits about 2 years old. In other words, like you see the clay sculpture here, I can't take a piece of clay and then stick it on there after it's been set for about 2 years. The clay won't stick to it. But that doesn't mean the clay is bad. It just means that it lost its sticking ability. So what you have to do is remelt that clay. So you melt the clay back down and then you start another sculpture. And that's what I had to do a couple months ago. I had to melt down my original sculpture that I was trying to alter, but I couldn't get the clay to stick. So monster clay is the way to go, man. I really like it. You know, I'll get a sculpture knocked out in a month usually now. It took me a month to do my original flashback, that one there. But the eye cuts are just a little bit too big, just a touch. I can't wait. I can't wait till this is out. Anyway, guys, I'm going to say goodnight because I am getting very tired. I've been on for 100 minutes, 101 minute. So, Knife Guy, you have a good night. Let me see who else. Bo Norton, have a great night. Silverado, you have a good night. Wish your son a happy birthday. Dustin, have a good night, buddy. Thorburn, you have a good night, my friend. Joe. Chad C., you have a great night. I think that's everybody. All right, guys. Peace. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and share the content. Let people know what I'm doing here. Thank you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably tomorrow. All right. Peace.